episode 2, kicking off. It's deer season. We do have a weather pattern that's telling us to go hunt tonight. So we are going hunting tonight. I'm excited because I get to go, and I'm taking a buddy out that doesn't get to go hunting all that much. He's a doctor. He's amazing, awesome guy. So he's super busy, young family. So him and I are going out. I'm still going back and forth in my mind and in my heart if I'm going to go film him.
Yeah, you have to film him.
Oh, okay. Well, the decision was made.
Well, you're not going to. Oh, so you were going to just allow him to hunt your property, not per se go hunting with him.
I was thinking about just sitting in my own spot and dividing and conquering. So we had
So then
success.
are you going to get selfish and where are you going to sit? If you sit separately, where are you sitting?
I was just going to rock, paper, scissors for those 2 stands, or just like draw a name, like 1 or 2. Like
You're not going to put him on the deer that you've had daylight.
No.
How many days in a row now?
It would probably be the wisest choice. Yeah, no, that's good. I'm good with that.
Are you good with that?
Very much so.
That's Mr. Target Buck. What did you name him? Yeah,
Diablo.
I thought it was
Demon Buck?
Demon Buck.
My dad coined it that we can't call him Demon Buck, even though Diablo means Satan in Spanish. And so, like, that's even worse. But it just sounds better to my old man. So there's that.
Okay. So, yeah, we're in episode 2.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys listening. If you did listen to the first one, I appreciate that. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to the Everland Podcast. I'm not going to make you or ask you to rate us or like us quite yet. If you do feel moved to do that, leave us a 5-star review. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just tune in for a couple more episodes. We'll get the swing of this. Hopefully you guys can understand who we are and what we do and what this podcast is about and what, the bigger picture of this podcast is. So episode 2, and it is, last time we got the date wrong.
Yeah, we did.
It is officially October 15.
Wow.
It's deer season.
Yeah.
And you are bringing a guest hunting tonight.
Yep.
And apparently undecided if you're actually going to hunt with him or your original plan. It sounds like you were going to hunt separately.
I was going back and forth on it, though, because I really want to take him to one spot and hunt together, but it's a wee little box blind. And going and sitting with him in this old busted,
Too personal.
It's not too. I think we can get it done because he's got to hunt with a crossbow tonight, and so with a vertical bow, 2 people in there, I don't think we can get it done.
Yeah, it'd be really cool on the next podcast if we pull up the footage and watch the hunt.
True that. Okay. You know my filming skills.
Zoomer.
You might as well call me Zoom Master Flags.
Yeah, again, just quick recap on filming. Just pick
this is
a
helpful.
length.
Listen to this. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, don't zoom in and look at the deer's skin and then zoom out and then zoom back in and look at his eyeball and then zoom back out. Just like make sure the entire deer's in frame, a little set the scene behind him a little bit.
Right.
See, like he's in the food plot.
I liked your 10-second rule because it applied to something that touched in my heart about. So explain the 10-second rule, and then I'm going to explain why it actually resonated with me.
Yeah. So if we get into filming semantics, is that the right word? Semantics?
Sure. I don't know. Strategy.
Filming rule 101. When you get a shot, so if you're ever out there filming deer by yourself or for somebody else, hold that shot. In other words, you can move the camera with the deer if the deer's walking, but don't zoom in or zoom out or change exposure or do anything like that. For the real rule is 6 seconds, but I'm telling you 10 seconds because I know you're going to count to 10 really fast. So, yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. So
I like how I get my own special rules.
Yeah. So that way, you have time to see what's happening.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is there's a dude in our town, and the fact that you made a special rule to call it a 10-second rule for me is because there's actually a guy, and I'll plug his book right now. It's actually called the 10-second rule, and it's about walking with the Lord and how if the Lord puts something on your heart. This is a very overview, quick,
This is his book.
This is his book, but this is just a brief, introduction to his book. So I don't want to say like this is a whole book. And this is
What's the book called?
The 10-second rule.
Oh. Wow.
And so that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why you remind me of it. Is the 10-second rule is all about if the Holy Spirit or the Lord prompts you to do something, to like go pray about somebody or to talk to somebody about Jesus or to do any of those kind of things, if you don't react within 10 seconds, you will convince yourself otherwise to go do it. This is his whole book and like all these different things in there, and it lays it all out.
Put this in a scenario once.
So you walk into a gas station and you interact with the gas station attendant, and you can see that they're like really, really frustrated with their day, and they're just down, they're beat up. You can see that they've just had one heck of a day. And all of a sudden you get a prompting to just tell them that like Jesus loves you, or hey man, like I hope you have a better day, and just give them a big smile. It doesn't matter, but there's a prompting in your heart to do something for that individual, whether you just tell them like, hey, thanks, sorry, I hope you have a better day. Whatever that is, oftentimes like I'll just stand there and be like, I don't feel like dealing with this. I don't want to mess with this. Like really, like do I have to do that? But then the times that I do, how much more it just edifies and builds me up and encourages me when I just say, hey man, I can see you're having a rough day. Like I hope things turn around. Like whatever you got going, like, is there something I can pray for you for, and all that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden they just like beam, and their lights just, everything changes in their perspective. And so that would be like an application point. So I remembered when you said the 10-second rule from zooming in and out, and the fact that I feel like it's the Holy Spirit even prompting us even more in the fact that it's not really a 10-second rule. It's the 6-second rule. And you made it the 10-second rule so that the conversation then could happen.
Yeah.
So Clare De Graaf is the author of that book. He's actually from our town here. He's a cool guy. I've met him once or twice, but
so the 10-second rule. So yeah. We're dubbing this episode, the 10-second rule.
The 10-second rule.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping that we get on that buck. I feel like we're going to cram into the small box blind together and just have a good time, because I don't get to see my brother that often. And
yeah, if he's using a crossbow,
just do it.
Yeah. It'll be shoulder to shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah. It'd be cool to have the footage. I'd like to see it.
I plugged in the cameras. They're all recording.
The recording?
Or
I don't want to edit that footage. They're charging.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exciting. October 15. We have, I would call it a cold front. It's definitely cooler than it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And like we kind of started talking about this a little bit ago, and then I cut it off because I'm like, well, I'll just talk about it on the podcast. I went hunting. Well, we talked on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty defeated from the day of work, and then I was just like, tonight's a good night. My wife is allowing me to go hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I should go hunting.
Well, that's the perfect night to go hunting.
Yes,
when you can.
I ran as fast as I could to the stand. As soon as I got set, well, first backtrack. I walk out, and I had a general idea of where I wanted to be. Had the saddle with me, which majority of the time I do hunt. But as soon as I got out there, I got pretty frustrated. I was already frustrated from work, but then I got out there, which should be exciting because I'm going hunting, but I'm frustrated because now like there's not, I thought that there was more trees, more options. Mm-hmm. And
you envisioned it in your head with all of it, and then you're just like, oh.
I did. I stood there, and like I've drove past this spot 1,000 times, mm-hmm. and should have like at least picked a tree out before I mean, it's like it's a very easy access, low pressure, not a lot of, what word am I looking for?
It's not invasive. You can get in and out.
Yes. Yeah. But I never I don't know why I've never been pulled to hunt there before. Last year was my first, never hunted at this specific location last year, but then as soon as I thought about that spot, I'm like, this makes perfect sense. I think a lot has to do with the crop rotation this year, but yeah, so I walk out there, and I'm standing there. I'm like, well, that tree is okay, but that tree's okay, but like there's no tree where I want to or need be, mm-hmm. and especially with the wind. So the one tree that I'm like decided like, okay, this is my best option. It's a bad tree. Like, I mean, it was like cherry trees when they're young, they get like, they're going like every direction.
Yeah, it's perfect for my ladder stands.
Yes, they are a perfect ladder stand tree. Not great for hanging sticks.
They're not good for any tree.
And it was, I was hanging off sideways, hanging the sticks, and like I wanted to get higher, but I only brought 2 sticks out with me because I didn't bring my original sticks that I'd used the majority of the time, because I figured I'm going to like this spot. I already knew in my head, I'm going to like this spot. I'm going to leave these sticks there to be more prepared for next time. Got in the tree. I'm like, this is the spot, but I'm sticking out too much. The tree's bad. I'm like leaning off on an angle the whole time. It just really made me kind of dwell on the fact that I'm not prepared at all I shouldn't say at all. I'm very underprepared for this season.
Right.
And I think that's a good talking point for a little while, is like, it's October 15.
Yeah.
And things are starting to happen in the woods. Like
right now,
like, people are going to start, really starting seeing a lot of shift in activity. I think the deer are going to have a big shift soon. They're kind of transitioning from like the food to bed, like getting pretty scrapey out in the woods now.
Yep. Yeah, it's a really good point as we look at like all of the work that we wanted to accomplish for, the deer hunting woods and all the things that we want to get done. And it's like, when I need this one the most, like this is the one like I want right now, and this didn't get done. And so like that is a hard, it's a pain in the butt because you got to deal with it. And it's like, all right, now what do I do? Do I go in there and bust in there and like hang a set, or do I go in there and trim lanes, or do I do those things? And like those questions, so many people make the mistake of, in my opinion, September 30th, they start thinking about deer hunting. And maybe they planted a food plot, but they didn't trim out all their lanes. They didn't do all that kind of stuff with the deer, with all their tree stands and box blinds and all that stuff. And then they go in there and wacha all that. And you can't, wacha. Well, they go in there with a chainsaw and all crazy and cut all that stuff down and make all those changes. And now we already have a massive shift happening in the whitetail woods from the peel of the antlers and the testosterone and all that kind of stuff, all that happening. We don't need to add additional variables to make a deer not like question a certain area and change. And if you
bump them now, it's not a good time to bump them.
Not a good time to bump them.
I can look at so many spots that I planned on hunting this year that I was like, well, I saddle hunt. I don't need to go in there and prep it. I'll just go in there, climb, and hunt. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Like I get that there's a time and place for that. Like that comes in like handy out of state land, all of that. When you're talking private land and you're going after a specific deer that's 5 years old, a Michigan 5-year-old, that's one of the smartest animals that God ever put on the earth.
Yeah.
Well, at least
for us to pursue.
Yes.
Yeah, that we're chasing.
And I can't go in there and like do that stuff without possibly a big mistake in doing it.
Well, you and I had this conversation not too long ago about saddle hunting, and I think one, like you said, it's the toolbox. It's the toolbox example. It's like you open up the toolbox and the screwdriver is not made for bonking nails into the wall. And so like the screwdriver is there for driving screws and doing it like this. And then you got an impact gun and like the reasons you use different tools at different times. And I looked at like this year, for example, my own experience and my own reflecting on saddle hunting over a feeder in Kentucky for an evening set. I mean, I don't like it because like you have deer that you're drawing to a certain 1-point location, and now you have to disassemble, get out of there. Like my preference would be if you got the time to put the feeder up, you got the time to set all that, get multiple stand locations in there for multiple wind directions that you can easily slip in and slip out of, because you don't want to have all these deer coming to that one location after dark, right? And so it's like, I want to get out of there. Like me personally, if it's the last like 8 to 10, 15 minutes and I'm sitting over food and I don't have a shooter and there's no deer on the food plot, I'm gone. I'm out of there. Because it's like, if I can slip out of here now and get down and get in behind cover and get out of there, and like, because a lot of times I try to have it completely set up where I can even get in and out of the stand or come up the backside of the tree and step around or whatever that case may be. But if I can't, the climb is actually one of the times where I'm most exposed. And so that's where I'm like, if there's not deer there now, I might as well go, because I don't want to like lights fading fast, and I'm not as interested as killing the buck as much as I am enjoying the hunt. And so like, just to kill them in the last 2 seconds of light, or last 5 minutes legal, it's just not the same for me as it used to be.
Yeah. And now that I'm forcing you to self-film your hunts,
you're really done.
Well, as I say,
you're really done.
I appreciate it, because like, you could technically still hunt for another 15 minutes, but camera's out of light. So
yeah,
you got to get out.
You get out, and so, but that's that's a good point. It's like, get out now while you can, instead of hurting yourself for the future. Because every time you bump deer, it's way worse. But back to your point of being prepared and that whole thing, it's like, I do believe that like, you got done what you could get done this year. With your time, and like, you and I have talked about a lot of times of like balancing family, God first, then our marriage, then our kids, and then hunting, and then all the other stuff, and like family time and doing all that stuff. I do believe God will honor those if we put those in our proper place in our lives. And when we step back and look at it and go, it's deer hunting. There's going to be things that I don't get done that I wish I got done. And am I at peace with that, or is it driving me crazy? Because it's
driving me crazy right now. I'll be 100% honest.
Okay.
And like, I 100% agree with your point. This was, going into this year, I will admittedly say last year, I at times was putting hunting in front of my family. And that was a goal of mine this year, is like, okay, be okay with not hunting. In essence, it's okay to not be successful. Like, I've been trying so hard to be successful and shoot a very mature deer, a big mature deer in Michigan. Like, it's just been a goal of mine. And last year I put hunting before my family. That was my goal this year. But I still think that
to not put them in front of your family. That was your goal.
Yes.
Got it.
But like, again, I was swinging around in my saddle last night, and like, I just thought, like, I've had plenty of time to just come out. I could have came out here at half a dozen different opportunities. It would have took me 20 minutes to come out here, pick a tree, and at least hang some sticks in the tree, because I really do enjoy hunting out of the saddle. Like, there's a lot of reasons I hunt out of the saddle, even on private land. But there's so many opportunities that I just was like, well, I'm saddle hunting. I'll just do it during season, and it'll be easy. When I look over, I'm like, now going into tonight, we have a really good night that's looking to be unfolding in front of us. And I have really high hopes, but I know I have to move trees tonight, and I know that there's gonna be a lot of trimming involved, and I'm far enough away that I know I can get away with it, but still, it's not ideal. Like, I look at, like, in 2 weeks from now, when I start getting more aggressive on this deer and start actually moving more into his bedroom, I do not, like, I have spots that I know I can hunt and get to, but it's not as trimmed up per se as it should be.
Yeah, and I think that a big piece of that is like, okay, are we content with what we have? And then are we okay with, like, okay, we got to make a change. We got to adjust. And like, you're like, okay, I'm willing to run the risk. And I know that there is a risk of fact that if I do trim the crud out of this, or I go too aggressive with this, that I might bump this deer and this hunt might be over. But if you're a couple 100 yards away from where he's bedding, you trim it, you might just ruin tonight's hunt. And you might just not see him come out, fully, because you made a whole bunch of noise and dropped a whole bunch of stuff there.
When I go in, I'm not trimming. But when I move in on this deer,
No. I'm saying tonight you said you're going to switch stands,
yes,
switch trees.
yes,
But that's going to require some trimming on that one.
yeah, and I'm not too concerned about that. It's how do I want to put this? It will not be noticeable for the path that I'm planning on him taking, like where I have to trim. He's not going to cross my trimming path. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My trimming path.
Yeah, but you still run the risk of like being loud, dropping something, being silly, all that kind of stuff. And then, but what I was trying to get to is like the more I look at it as you're most likely the major downside of doing that today is going to be you have the potential of spoiling tonight's hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to spoil the rest of the season's hunts if you bugger that deer? I don't see it like there's a possibility, but most likely the way that you hunt and getting in and out, I just don't feel like that's going to be a major problem for you moving forward. But back to the preparedness of like, okay, you just showed up to a food plot that maybe it's at a hunting property. This is a bigger one. For me, it's like I haven't been back to my land since I broadcasted a whole bunch of Braskas out there midsummer, and time did not allow me to get back there. And so now I show up and it's October 1 or October 15th, because that's where we are today. And I step into this food plot, or I step into the blind that overlooks this food plot, and it's dirt. And so now, like, I was really banking on this being a food source from September 1 to January 1, like we always go back to and talk about. Like, this was going to be, like, I was banking on this because I need that bed to food movement. I got to keep that consistency so I can really take advantage of the deer movement and actually be a herd influencer. And now I don't have anything. And
you have one brassica, right? You did send me a picture of a buck bedded down in the brassica.
Giant brassica on that one. But I would say this is eliminating this year, this property. I'm not banking on holding deer the way I normally would on a piece of property, because when we moved in and closed on it, if I was at that place where I thought we were going to really, really utilize these food plots. I was planning those. My goals for planning those food plots this year was to have a little bit of attractant, something there to see deer, to have the possibility of shooting deer. I did not believe that I could plant enough food on that property based on what I knew this year to be a herd influencer and really put food in the ground that was going to be appreciable and make it through the season. Never once as I was evaluating that, I'm like, there's no way I can do that right now. It's just not going to happen. But there's enough space here that I could plant a little cute food plot. And I would put forth the argument that that's where most guys in the habitat world that are hunting, they have cute little food plots that they just kind of plant, and they're not really appreciable amount of food. So I don't want to bash on people or whatever, but most of the time when I've ever gotten to somebody else's property and they're showing me their food plot, they're at 1/10, 1/2 the size that they think that they actually are. So there's a number of variables that go bad with that. It's that, one, you're putting way too much seed out there, so it's costing you money. Two, that's really not good for the plants. They're not growing to their full potential because they don't have enough space to grow. And three, you're lying to yourself because you think that you have enough food out there to hold deer for the whole season. So what I was getting to, though, if you are in that place where you do believe that you have, a good 1 acre, 1.5 acre food plot, and it's completely chewed, like it's gone, it's dirt, it never grew, something happened, something went wrong, you didn't have a camera on it, or you had a camera on the corner of it, and this corner is like green over here, and you couldn't tell the rest of it was all dirt. Me, October 15th, I'm waiting right before the next rain, and I'm going to go rye. Where we are in Michigan right now, you can still get rye to grow. So
I think they say any month that ends with an R or has an R in it, you can plant rye. Mm-hmm. October, November, January, you cannot.
Yeah. So
January, you can. Yeah, that doesn't hold. I don't believe that
anymore.
R, January. There's an R in it.
No, December, November,
yeah,
October, January. That doesn't have that. It doesn't work. The rule works.
It doesn't work. It does work. So yeah,
October, November, December.
Yes.
In Michigan, I would argue where we're at in Michigan, December is probably the cutoff. Like, you're not going to get anything to really grow. You might get a little bit. You might get some shoot ups and stuff like that, because you only really need I don't know. There's probably a deer biologist. Put something in the description if I'm wrong on the temperature of soil, because it's around 27 or 47 degrees in up to get something to grow, to get rye to grow, cereal rye. And so, but as I look at that, what I'm saying is that it's more, to me, the unpreparedness, it's more important to get that food in the ground, to be the herd influencer, to make sure, especially on like smaller 40, 60, 80 acre pieces of property, that I can actually really hold those deer and protect those deer. Because again, I want to go back to like renewing my mind of how do I kill this deer to how do I protect this deer, in the off chance that I don't get to kill him, then he does make it till next year.
So you're saying, moral of the story, where it's, even though it is October 15, it's not too late to finish being prepared for the rest of the year. Like, season is short, but it's also, there's plenty of time left to be prepared for the rest of the season.
But I also believe, like, emphatically, like, I don't go in the woods from September 1 to January 1 unless I'm deer hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but are there exceptions to the rule? Yeah. Like, if I don't break that rule for a trail camera. I know that there's a lot of guys that do. Like, I personally am not going to break the rule to go put a battery in a trail. We were joking about it though. Like, if the trail camera is even like 50 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards in front of my tree stand, and I didn't have to walk past it, I didn't have to, to get to it, I'm not going to go boot track that, because I want, let's say this table is a 40 acre piece that I'm going to hunt. I want that whole section that doesn't have stands in it and stuff to be an area, and to be able to map that out and draw that out and say, this is a non-human interacting with deer area. So inside this area, my wind's never going to blow in there. And so this is a part of my property that the deer are never going to cut my boots. They're never going to know. And so that way, when they do cut boots on the neighbor's property, they interact with people, they fall in there and they jump in there after they get bounced from the neighbors. And like, he just got bounced from the neighbors coming out in the dark. He makes it 200 yards back onto my property, and he's like, there's none of this here. I don't have any of this interaction going on here. I had it across the line of Jay's boots, you know what I mean, on the outside of it. But then once he gets in there, he doesn't have that. And like, that's where I go back to the dog in the yard. It's like, you go walk in your yard, walk a big figure 8 in your yard, do it one time, and then go let your dog out into the yard. Like, let it out 4 hours later, let it out 8 hours later. It's going to go right to where you walk and follow so it's going to use its nose because there's something different in the yard, and it's going to follow it. So deer scent you and wind you long after you're gone. I don't think much people like really dive into that all that much, of how much you leave scent in the tree, and then when they come downwind of you 2 hours after you're gone, I mean,
I agree with that. There's some guests that I want to bring in the future that will be able to really scientifically break that down of how scent works. And I've dove into it on the side, and it's fascinating how scent actually works. So I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah. And I think people I'm not a scientist. I can't even like count. And so like,
I don't even know if there's an R in January.
No, legit. But like, what I'm saying is, like, I don't need to know the science behind it. I need to know that it's true, right? And so that's like back to like, what do I believe? And that's one of the things that I kind of look at when it comes to like my faith in the Lord, and then my faith in what I'm doing in the habitat woods. Like, I'm literally putting faith in, I'm trusting in the process of laying out my tree stands and doing all these things because I believe that it's going to work, right? And that's why I put my faith and my trust in the Lord Jesus Christ, because I believe that he is who he says he was, and he's going to do, and he's going to redeem me, and he's going to save me. And he has saved me because I believe that, right? And so it's like, that's the way that I look at when I'm developing this. I don't need to be a theologian. God didn't equip me to write massive papers about all this kind of stuff, and but I can know it to be true. And so the same thing that goes for like the scent scientist, which I can't wait to talk to a scent scientist. I hope he's actually a scent scientist, because that's what I'm going to call him.
Oh, sure. It's more of like a he trains dogs, so he understands how a dog's nose works, which translates how a deer's nose works.
I've talked to a lot of the dog trackers over the woods, and and that's another cool piece about, and we'll get into this with the dog trackers, is like the creation piece of the fact that dogs are literally tracking the pheromone gland, or the ones that are trained to this, and they understand that that deer is dying or is going to die. And that's why it locks onto that gland. And how wolves hunt and go and follow the pheromone gland, and then they're ready to attack and they're ready to pounce on the caribou because they followed it long enough that they know that this one's sick enough that they can actually take it down.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Eventually I want to get a story of last year in Indiana. Neighbor hit the target deer that we were going after, was not a fatally hit shot. And to quick summarize it, we got that deer. Next time we got that deer on trail camera, it was surrounded by 15 coyotes. It was crazy trail camera footage.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll have to pull it up sometime. It's cool. The whole story, that's really cool. But to your point, they would never, on a normal day, they would not go after that deer. But since he was shot, he was wounded, they knew, they could smell that.
I think we should probably, with that, remind me of that, because we'll pull up some old photos of wolf bite marks on mature bucks' hindquarters in the UP. That's wild. Like old leathered over ones. Like you can see the canine teeth marks. You
have photos of that?
Yeah, we've killed bucks in the UP that have bite marks.
It's not cool, but it's cool.
Like the wild thing is like one of the deer, like 2 deer in camp that year had bite marks on them. One of them had like the old leathered over bite marks, and one of them had like probably a wound that was probably like a month ago, like a month earlier.
Wow.
And so you could see the difference. Like no fur, 100% teeth marks, like bit onto its hind quarter and got away.
That is wild.
Yeah. So, but back to prepared. So we're prepared enough, and we're equipped enough to go out tonight.
We are. I don't want to say it, but there is a 70% chance that I think I'm going to see. I'm going to see this deer.
Wow.
He's shifted his pattern a little bit, which is in my favor. Before, he was pretty hunkered down into his bedroom that I've been trying to stay out of because I wasn't prepared to go in there after him. And the winds, just an absurd amount of east in the winds lately, so it's not great for me.
Yeah,
on that aspect. But I have really high hope. I hate to say that going into a hunt, especially on a deer like this, that I've only seen twice ever on the hoof.
I think it's great that you say it. I think it's great that you have confidence in what you're going to do. And do we know? Do we say 100%? No, but I do like. Some other habitat consultants and people out there talk about like percentage odds of stands and stuff like that. And like every piece of property I've ever been on, every client piece of property I've ever personally been on, where I talk to somebody, like I always go, this is the stand. Like this is where I would hunt this piece of property if they did all the work that I'm asking them to do and prescribing for them to do. And I look at it and I go, this is where I would be on a perfect rut morning. This is the tree I'd be in. Like, there's no doubt. Like, if I got offered, like, hey, when are you going to hunt this piece of property? Or what, like, if I only had one time, it's like, this is a tree, this is the wind, this is the weather. And it's like, this is an 85% chance that I'm going to kill a deer. Unless they mess up everything else. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, because
you're going to see him. Did you say you're going to kill him?
Yeah, I'm going to see him.
Yeah, you're going to see him.
Because so after I climbed out of the stand last night, I actually had a really good sit. I saw a lot of deer. Only saw 2 little dinks for headgear, but a lot of deer. I actually went into last night telling myself I'm going to shoot a doe too. Like,
oh wow,
because I was
that's a whole nother thing.
It is, and then
because you're going to muddle up everything.
Well, I went into the spot thinking it was more of like an observation sit, and thinking I was giving him a lot of space. Sit in the stand. I mean, I just hung my bow up and I turned to my left and there's 3 mature doe walking their way right to me. I was like, oh, that happened really fast. And like, I'm still like, I have a piece of sweat coming down my face right now. I'm not ready to shoot a deer. Like, I'm going to hold off for right now. And then as soon as that happened, like I had deer around me the entire night. So I'm like, nah, not the place to kill a deer or a doe tonight. So I held off, got out really, really good. I bumped one deer that was just happened to be standing next to my truck when I walked up to it, but got out really good. Trail camera goes, well, I shouldn't say it goes off. I got home, ate dinner, talked to the wife for a little bit, pull up the trail cameras before I went to bed, and 20 minutes after I left that spot, there's a trail camera that's 50 yards from where I was sitting, and 20 minutes after I left, he walked past there. Okay. So that's the closest that I've gotten him to be daylight. So I think he's shifting a little bit closer and closer to daylighting, and with just this weather feels right to finally give him the push to make the mistake. And honestly, it's like a 50-50 of where he's got 2 kind of prime bedding locations.
Yeah.
And I think I just have a good feeling about tonight.
I like it. Mm-hmm. I like it. I think now that you encouraged me to just film Dan.
Yeah, you don't get to shoot a deer tonight.
No, that's cool. I'm totally good with that. I'm just super excited because I have not seen this deer since in 1 week daylight in this spot.
And you were hunting the last time he daylighted too.
I was like 120 yards away from him, watching him hit the mock scrape, but I couldn't see the deer because there's brush. But the mock scrape dangles down from an oak tree, and again, I can see the oak tree.
Jay's property is nothing but a cattail marsh.
Right, and so I can see this one oak tree out in the middle of the cattail marsh has a mock scrape hanging out underneath it, and I can see the rope swinging, and I'm checking my trail camera, and he's over there just going to town on this thing.
How far in front of your stand?
120 yards.
No, you're the stand that's in front of that.
Oh, yeah, that's 20 yards. Yeah. 20-yard chip shot all day.
Yeah,
and that's
you were
where
going to sit
and that's
there.
where I was going to go. But Lee and I had this really good idea because the idea was, I'm blaming Lee on this. It's all mine.
It's my fault.
It's all my fault. I take credit for it.
No, I'll take 50%.
I appreciate that. But the idea is like, okay, in those cattails, in that situation, if he does pop up over there, I can drop out of this stand and sneak over there into the wind, right. And I was going to put a stalk on him. Well, hadn't thought through the food plot in front of me was going to have 15 deer in it, and so you can't really get down and make a stalk over there and all that stuff.
So you just sat there and watched the vine just swinging.
Swinging, and then I'm just locked in that direction, and I'm just can't wait for him to come through because the does are piling out from the same spot. I'm like watching them come through, and so now I'm just staring out this side of the blind, just waiting, and I'm like, he's got to come. I got like an hour of daylight, so I'm like, he's eventually going to come over here. And then finally, I just kind of felt something out this window, and I turn and look, and the number 1 shooter is standing 35 yards.
Oh, he was the other one's your number 1.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought.
Well, he switched. Diablo became number 2 after I laid eyes on the mature big wide 8.
Have you named him?
Yeah, we could, but
have you?
No, he's just a big wide 8 with big wide brows. His brow tines, I guarantee he's got.
I was thinking eyebrows.
His brow tines have probably got a 15-inch inside spread.
We should call them eyebrows.
Eyebrows, it is.
Yes.
Or brows.
No,
that's just too cheesy.
Too many people do that.
Yeah,
it's not cheesy. Eyebrows.
Well, I was thinking about brows, like eyebrows, and then you're calling them brows, but now it's just like brows. Yeah, eyebrows.
I like eyebrows.
Eyebrows was just standing there. He wasn't staring at me. He was just looking in my direction, and he took the trail and went the opposite way. So he went to number 1. Eyebrows was there last night, 15 minutes after dark. So he could pop up tonight. Diablo could pop up tonight, but I haven't seen Diablo since last Tuesday on camera. And I lied. I've seen him. But.
Eyebrows he's been shot now at this point.
We think he was hit.
Okay.
I don't know. The neighbor thought he was hit. The neighbor thought he shot that buck we did not confirm. There was no confirmation.
And he did not recover it.
He did not recover it.
Okay.
But
So big night, Deer Woods, big night. We'll get into this probably next podcast, but you're actually heading to Kentucky tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah.
After a big night in the woods of you filming, not zooming. You're going to be filming.
Yeah. So much filming.
The 10-second man.
Rule.
10-second rule.
You can't go like a 10-second man on the camera. That's awesome.
So, yeah, you're filming tonight. Tomorrow morning, you're heading to Kentucky. Quick, tell us a little bit about that. Like what?
Kentucky youth season extended this year. So they were, last year was just one weekend. It went for 10 days. So it's covering 2 weekends. And so I got 3 young boys, 2 of which that say they're going to be hunting. One definitely will. One hasn't hunted and killed anything yet, but he's kind of excited about getting out there. So got a couple really good bucks on camera. Yesterday, there was a really great shooter down there, but he daylighted in the morning. So, and I don't know how we're going to get in there and how we're going to do that. So the spots I really wanted.
So are you prepared for that spot?
Oh, yeah, so prepared. Yeah. So prepared. No, not prepared at all. They're literally, I think we are going to be set up probably 25, 30 yards from a feeder station on the ground.
Real close.
So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to have to figure out what we're going to do there. We do get to hunt with a rifle, so hopefully we won't have to make much movement and all that kind of stuff. So, strategy right now, I'm going to take one son out tomorrow night to a spot where we can see 600 yards in one way, 400 in the other. It's got a couple different feeder locations in that area where we can shoot 2 different feeder locations. And then take the other one in for the morning hunt where the other one was daylighting the next morning because we don't get to get down there until tomorrow evening. So staying away from that one. Going to go after, there's multiple other deer in there that we'd be happy to shoot.
How picky is your son going to be? Like, I mean, if you say you should shoot this deer, is he shooting or is he
no.
like?
No. My middle son will 100. He's already passed multiple bucks this year in youth season. He's 7 and he's very, very adamant that it's not. He won't shoot anything unless I would shoot it. Like, and so he'll ask, and he doesn't need to. At this point, he does not need to ask me whether I would shoot it or not. He knows. He knows if I would shoot it or not.
That's impressive.
Yeah. He made a really awesome judgment call already this year. He had a decent buck come walking out in youth season, and he was just like 65 yards out. He could have easily shot it, but he was like, I just don't feel it with the dark. It was getting a little dark and stuff like that. And for a 7-year-old, for me, I was blown away because he's just like, got a lot of season left. I don't know if I really want to shoot this deer right now. I can't really tell if he's the one. And so he's just like, nope, I'm not going to shoot him.
Oh, definitely not the version of me at 7 years old.
No, I didn't grow up somebody taking, I mean, I have a loving father and all that kind of stuff, but one day we'll tell you, I'll have to tell when I was 14 and got handed a rifle and sent down a trail story, because that's how it started for me.
Well, you're here, so that's a good start.
Yeah. I killed a buck that day.
Oh, wow. First time ever touching a rifle.
Well, shot
hunting with a rifle.
Yeah. Shot the gun 3 times. Iron sights, UP.
Oh, and it's a UP.
We'll tease it with that.
Yeah, between the bite marks and
yeah,
we're just gonna have a UP.
I'm gonna go get that rack. I have to drive up there because that's on the wall up there. So I'll have to get that before I can tell the story, so I can have it with me.
Okay, so on your way back from Kentucky, drive to the UP, grab the rack.
I probably won't be up there until November 15th, so we might have to share that story later. But we'll just say, I'll leave it at, it's legit. It's a really awesome story.
Sweet. So tonight, I haven't named my deer.
I think Carl.
Carl?
I think you should just call him Carl.
Doesn't fit.
It
doesn't fit his personality. Carl's like the guy that you'd see everywhere. Like you'd like walk in a crowd, I'm like, there's Carl. I don't see this
Carl,
guy.
good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I haven't thought of a name for this deer. Hunted him for 2 years. Apparently, I don't know. I haven't named this deer, which is not like me, but
it happens.
So I'm going to see him tonight and or kill. you are filming tonight, and I'm going to call, you're going to randomly see eyebrows.
Yeah, brows is dead.
Yeah.
Eyebrows is hitting the dirt.
Yeah, cool.
I have a feeling.
Cool. And you're going with the 10-second man.
No. Wait, what? I'm going with my buddy Dan. 10-second rule is a guy that wrote a book. None of that.
I thought he wrote the book.
No, he didn't write that book.
I missed you in the beginning of this.
Well, the people that watch this will be like,
I zoned out.
Yeah, you definitely were in your own lane.
So quick recap. Let's end this with a recap on the 10-second rule, like kind of just a reflection on the 10-second
10-second rule. When you are prompted in your heart to do something, whether it's you believe in God or not, if you take 10 seconds and you don't make a decision, like something that's quick, you will convince yourself to not do something. You'll say, I had this prompting on my heart to tell somebody that they look good tonight. Like, how often do you go home and you're like, my wife looks really beautiful today, and then I just don't say anything. Well, if I don't say anything, it doesn't do her any good. Like, I thought it, and I should have said it, but all of a sudden I convinced myself to not say something for whatever reason. So I'm just encouraging you, like, and myself, to just walk through that and step into it, because every time I do it, there is an amazing move of God that something happens where it's like, it's kind of like this. I'll go quick with this, but it's Jesus Christ when he went out to Peter in the boat and he's fishing with him, right? And he tells him to cast his nets on the other side of the boat. Jesus could have easily said, "Fish, jump in the boat," and all the fish would have jumped in the boat because he is God, and he would have been able to just tell all the fish to get in the boat. So why did he tell Peter to cast his net on the other side of the boat? Because Peter had to act in faith. And when Peter acted in faith, there was a miracle that happened. And I'm merely suggesting, to the encouragement of that book, 10-second rule, that when we act in faith and we just do and we step out, there are miracles behind every corner. And I'm just saying, me personally, and I can share a bunch of stories of them, of whenever I make moves like that and just go, and I'm not worried about what that person's going to think of me, and I just make the move, there's miracles that happen, and it's really cool.
I like it.
So, leave it at that. Go kill a deer tonight.
Appreciate you guys listening.
All right. See ya.